Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet. Voice you know with the News You Trust studio. Sponsored by BASF, where you can count on the trusted performance of Allevo seed treatment to protect your soybean crop. I'm Allison Kinney. Now let's take a look at what's making agricultural news. The Trump administration isn't likely to finalize the 2026 biofuels blending quotas before the end of 2025. Three sources close the situation told Reuters that this will only extend uncertainty over a policy closing watched by rival oil and farm sectors. The Environmental Protection Agency has scheduled meetings with industry stakeholders on a quota rule in early 2026, which is a sign the final rule won't be announced until next year. The EPA declined to give a specific time frame on when a final rule could be reached, noting that it's still reviewing public comments on the volume requirements. A delay in finalizing the mandate is troublesome because fuel makers, farmers, and commodity traders use them to lock in supply contracts, head the vital crop and energy markets, and justify investments on a new production capacity. Earlier this year, the EPA proposed raising total renewable fuel requirements for 2026 and 2027. Also making headlines, the USDA's Animal and Health Inspection Service confirmed that it detected highly pathogenic avian influenza in dairy cattle herd in Wisconsin. The confirmation marks the first known case of HPAI in cattle in Wisconsin. APHIS is working with Wisconsin Agricultural Department to conduct additional on-farm investigations, testing, and epidemiological data collection to better understand the detection and prevent further disease spread. The detection doesn't change USDA's eradication strategy, with the agency pointing that biosecurity is the key to mitigating the risk of the disease, introduction, or widespread between farms. The detection doesn't pose a risk to consumer health or affect the safety of the commercial milk supply. The Food and Drug Administration says it remains confident that the pasteurization inactivates the virus and that the commercial pasteurized milk supply is safe. The CDC said HPAI virus circulates in birds and dairy cattle, pose a low risk to the public. Rounding out the headlines, according to the Association of Equipment Manufacturers, the total sales of agricultural tractors in the U.S. dropped almost 20%, while combine sales fell 35% compared to November of 2024. Canadian sales of combines increased 25% in November compared to the same time last year, while sales of agricultural tractors dropped 7% in the same time frame. This month's numbers reflect the continued economic pressure farmers have been navigating for several months, said the Association of Equipment Manufacturers Senior Vice President Kurt Blades. While we're seeing a short-term slowdown in sales, equipment manufacturers remain focused on supporting farmers with the tools and technologies that deliver efficiency and long-term value. He also said as the agricultural economy moves into 2026, AME will continue watching market conditions closely and remains confident in the industry's underlying strength. Now let's go to Ty Higgins.
Episode 444 of the Ohio AgNet podcast is online at ohioagnet.com, a video and audio version as I visit with Bill Patterson, president of Ohio Farm Bureau, at last week's annual meeting in Columbus. He says as much as those 2 days are about planning for the future, it's also a chance to celebrate the victories of 2025.
Creating a new health plan, unbelievable. The amount of work that we've done to put in farmland protections, the amount of policy work we've done, the work that went into the One Big Beautiful Bill. Was that the way that we wanted it to happen? Not necessarily, but we really hit on some of the major issues that we're having in farm stability. And so really celebrating what we've done and the way we've been able to do some things that sort of help alleviate the challenges that we're facing in agriculture today.
Also in this week's podcast, Dale visits with the new president of Ohio Corn and Wheat, Eric Tipton, who talks about all the opportunities in the upcoming year.
As you look at 2026 as a whole, I mean, we have some really exciting things kind of hanging fire. You know, we are so close on E15, and the biofuels circle is just, there's so many exciting avenues that we can go with there. You know, you talk about sustainable aviation fuel, we talk about E15, and sometimes we hear some other things like marine fuel and those sorts of things. So it's a really interesting space that I think that we have a lot of opportunity in.
You can listen and watch the new podcast online at ohioagnet.com. I'm Ty Higgins reporting.
Thanks, Ty. Now to the markets after this.
They didn't have skim milk for your coffee, so I just got formaldehyde.
Oh,
Isn't that stuff in floor cleaner?
Pizza's here. Would you like cheese on that? Or how about a Crowley?
Oh, no, that's in bug spray.
Hi there, would you like to sample our new scent? Diethylene glycol.
Isn't that the stuff in antifreeze?
You wouldn't want to eat it, drink it, or even smell it, but that's exactly what's in your vapes. If you vape, quit. If you don't vape, don't start. For help, go to odh.ohio.gov/no vapes. A message from the Ohio Department of Health.
Now let's take a look at the markets, brought to you by Seed Consultants, simply better performance. Learn more online at seedconsultants.com. March corn closing in today down 3 1/4 at 436.5. May corn down 3 1/4 as well at 444.5. July corn is down 2 3/4 at 451. January soybeans are down 9 at 1062 3/4. March soybeans down 9 1/2 at 1071 3/4. July wheat is down 8 1/2 at 529 3/4. September wheat is down 8 at 542 3/4. Now looking to livestock, December live cattle are down 32 cents at 231.15, and February lean hogs are down 92 cents at 84.77. Thanks for joining us. You're listening to the Ohio AgNet.